Welcome to another episode of the Donta Show Network Story Times, where I tell prison stories, hood stories, and supernatural stories.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Okay, y'all. So I put out a PSA to anyone that may have known Mark or been in prison with Mark to either verify or discredit anything that Mark is saying. And today we got a special guest that pulled up on us that actually did time with Mark for many years. So I'm gonna let him let y'all know who he is. So who are you?
I'm Mooney from Mobile, Alabama. I'm using my nickname. I did 30 years in Alabama prison system for murder. I did a few years at Limestone with Mark, and I did a few years with him at Eastern too. I know JG too. We were talking about his friends. So I'm familiar with the brother. I saw him on YouTube last night, and I found, I figured looking at that and representing Alabama, somebody should say something other than Cartoon. And him, I remember Cartoon in prison too. So I don't know if you remember me, but I remember him being there too.
Okay, so and just for the record, I may have heard you wrong. Did you say that you was like the king of the vice lords in Alabama?
I was chief in the whole state of Alabama. That's the title I held.
Okay,
Chief. Yeah, I retired since then. I'm 56 years old.
Okay.
I retired since then.
So just for the record, so basically you was running the show in Alabama.
Well, vice lord.
Okay, with the vice lords. And from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark was a blood, right?
Right.
Okay. So is the documentary true about Mark?
I want to say this first. I can't say yes or no on that. I want to say this first. By him being a blood and me being vice lord and the Stones, we were all together. At that time, when I was at Limestone with him, NJG, I didn't know nothing about him affiliating and no homosexual activities. I'm gonna say that. Had I known that, just being in the position I was in, he would have been brought up on charges because in the Alabama system, blood, vice lord, and Stone run together. We were together, in the system. For as Crip, disciples, when I got there I got locked up in 1988. So in 1989, the Crips and disciples were doing what they call eight balling. When the pig folks and the seed were put together, they were eight balling. So from that time, from 88 to 89, all the way till I got with Mark and them over at I think Limestone, probably 2004. I didn't know Mark could do nothing like that. I didn't find out about this video until I got out. So when I got out, and I made parole in 2017, so I've been back home probably 7 years now out of 30. And like I said, had I known that, he'd have been in a lot of trouble. So I never knew him to do what I saw on the video. I've been viewing on this video. I didn't know him for that.
Now, the biggest question, they're going to put you, because right now we are in what you call kangaroo court.
And I'm familiar.
Okay, so now since you are here on the stand giving a testimony on Mark's behalf, right? Mm-hmm. Now here they're going to say, well, one of the questions is going to be, so was you there when Mark did this documentary? Was you there?
I wasn't there when the documentary was did. He said it was done in 2001. I was with Mark. I think we were together first in '96 at Eastern Prison in 1996. And he transferred, and JG, both of them were over there with me. 96, 97. But wherever he went after that, I don't know. I know years later, when I got to Limestone, I went to Mississippi prison, they had everybody transferring because it was overcrowdedness. So we went to Mississippi. I supposed to went back to a camp they called Atmore. Anyhow, when I get to Limestone, Mark was there, JG was there, you know. So I didn't know nothing about the video till I got out.
Okay. So to your knowledge, this video was when you got to Limestone with JG and Mark, the video had already been done.
It already been done. I ain't get there to 2004.
So you been who you are at that time. As soon as you would have hit the compound days later, whatever, they would have let you know, like, yo, these guys over here ain't right.
Hey man, when I got in the camp, the warden sent a message to the captain of the prison to talk to me. And I came to talk to the captain because I wondered why he wanted to see me first day there. And he said, he started and he told me, he said, I heard of you through the warden. He said, I got a list right here on my desk with names all the way down with everybody who were hot, what they call hot people watching the camp. He said, your name was at the bottom because you just, he said, but now your name at the top of the list. He asked me, he said, what you want in my camp? And I looked at him, I smiled, and I took a card out of my pocket and I put it on his desk. And he understood who I was from day one. And I left out his office. So when I hit that camp, whatever was going on for as blood, vice lord, stone, dealing with homosexuality, they'd have been crushed by me being there, off the rip. They'd have been crushed. Now, like I say, whatever will participate in before I got there, I don't know nothing about it. So but what I do know, I stayed there 13 years when I got there. I just left there. That's where I made parole from, 2017.
So, okay, so in the video, David Menahar said that the Bloods was telling him and JG, like, yo, y'all can't be doing this. Y'all can't be involved in these homosexual activities. And basically, according to the video, JG and Mark went rogue and said, if we gonna do what we want to do, how we want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Cartoon on the other night, and he said that when he got there, it was a culture shock. And he said homosexuality was running rampant there. And he said that basically, if you was a so-called straight man, as long as you wasn't receiving, you was good as a gang member out there. So he basically said that these guys had boys, a lot of these gang members, whether you was Crip, Blood, or whatever, that they had boys.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got there, are you saying that you put an end to that with your organization?
I couldn't end anything that was going on in that prison. But I did when I came there, I was the law for as vice law concerned. And that's what I followed, the rules that we go by. And the rules that I was taught since I was 14 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And being in vice law. When I got there, like I said, whatever was going on, I let the vice lord know. Stuff like that. You know, we did illegal stuff to make money.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about that. Well, you know, the whole thing is, okay, so let's just put it all together right quick. So when you got there, right, Mark being a Blood, and you said when you got there, they, you know, the vice lords and the Bloods basically combined. Right.
Yeah, we basically, if we had to, because we were the smaller group there. Okay. So we've been made alliance years ago, probably before Mark even came in the prison system.
So did you have to hand out any violations to anybody in your organization for homosexuality activities when
Oh
you
yeah.
got
Oh yeah. Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
at any given, so when Cartoon said that, yeah, there's gang members that did have boys up in there. Um, you when you found out this was going on, like what was the first incident and what was the violation that was issued out?
Let's put it like it was a guy who out of Chicago.
Okay.
And when the guy got in the camp, probably in, I want to say '05, something like that. The guy, he automatically challenged my leadership, and guys out of Chicago, for some reason, when they get in the South and see a vice law, they feel we ain't real vice law. Or they feel we don't know. Anyhow, the guy knew I held the same position he held out of Chicago. And to make a long story short, him getting there and being there for a few months, he was trying to bring me up on charges, for being an infiltrator, somebody who did. And I told him, hey man, I've been this almost in my jacket.
Yeah, yeah.
So me and this dude were bumping heads, put it like that. He was trying to overtake leadership. He
Yeah.
caused the problem when he got there. And 6 months later, I think I was on a whole nother side of the camp, like Mark and them say, see, you got the camp is divided. That camp there is the only prison I've been at where you got a 2-man cell. You could be in cell, you and the president. Then they got a part of the dormitory. People sleep out in the open bay of the dorm. Okay, you have to earn your way up in them cells. Anyhow, I get on that side of the camp, and guys telling me about this guy. Say, man, he in matter of fact, when Mark was telling y'all about Reba, that's who he was messing with.
Uh,
The sister you saw iron in the clothes,
yeah.
and that's who he was messing around with. And I found out about it. It opened the door for me because I wanted to sell it with these anyway, you
Yeah.
know. And couldn't nobody violate him but me by us holding the same position. That's our rule. And I called a violation on him. And he was told what the violation was. And I told him, I said, I want 5 minutes with you. And we went in the dormitory, what Mark's saying, up in them cells, got an iron door. You lock behind them doors, it's just you and the person in there. But anyway, a partner of mine who was a stone came in the room with us to, if things got out of hand. And one was at the door. I went in, we fist fight.
Yeah.
And I almost beat him to death because I thought he was going to fight back because his mouth was big from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got there when I was 19 years old, man. I learned how to fight, and I beat this dude blood up, and he didn't fight back really. He tried to fight, but he didn't put up much of a fight, and he was real high light skinned. And when the guys broke it all up, I was bloody all the way down. I can remember taking all my clothes off, and they put them in the sink and washed them before the police get there, because the police coming. He leave out his face, swole all up. He got a pumpkin head now. He swell all up. And he went to his dormitory. It was count time. And he sat on the bed for the police to see him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he know what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
And he know what the violation was for.
Mm.
Now, Cartoon was right. Getting in that camp there. I've been to 9 different prisons now. I ain't never been to Holman, St. Clair, or West Jefferson. Those 3 camps is for people who got life without parole on death row. I ain't been to nail one of those camps. I stayed away from that. Okay, I ain't been to what they call the big camp like that. I've been to 9 other prisons. But when you get to this prison we talking about now, Limestone is a culture shock. Because when you get there, all of a sudden, white boys running everything. Any other place, you don't see that. Okay, I stayed at that prison for 13 years. And after learning that prison, I found out most of the people who was in that prison were rapists and snitches. So he right, it was a culture shock. But anybody who was vice lord, stone, blood, we found that out about you, we getting your pumpkin head. It was just that simple.
And just to make it clear, up until so when you was how long how much time did you actually do with Mark?
I think I was at Eastern Priya. We were at Eastern first. Him and JG were there. I think from 96, 97, probably because he was talking about Miss Mosley at Eastern. Miss Mosley came there after a ride in
Yeah.
97, so he had to been down there. I think up until at least 98, probably 3 years there, then he transferred somewhere. And another
Okay.
2 years at Limestone, probably 5 altogether.
So to set the record straight, for him to do that document, he did this documentary before y'all met, right?
He said he did it in 2001. That's why when I saw it, when I got home and seen it, I was trying to figure out where he was at and when he did it. Because he was a young boy when I remember him in there. Young kid. That's why his face, we can't wear hair up in Alabama prison on our face.
Explain
Now
that.
they can.
Explain that, because a lot of people, Felice Johnson put it out there that most men that's in prison, you can tell that they homosexuals because they have no hair on their face.
No. In Alabama prison, nobody wear hair. And they just started that in 2000 and probably 15 or 16. There was a lawsuit won somewhere else, and it's the Muslim guys who wearing the beards now. Everybody have to claim some religion or say you're a Jew or something in order to wear hair on your face. In Alabama prison, nobody wear hair on their face. So when you saw Mark, like I'm looking at him now, the way he looked, hell, it looked like he ain't grow hair on his face no way. He was a young guy, young kid. He just turned 50. I'm 56.
So what I'm trying to establish here is that for them 5 years, we're going to say before you met Mark, and then 5 years will pass of you knowing Mark. Through them 5 years, you never ever heard a whisper that Mark was indulging in homosexuality.
He walked around that prison. He was a leader of a branch of Bloods there. I remember that. He was a tough little guy. I always respected him. He saw me, we speak and he move on.
Now,
but I ain't never known to be,
Now we finna get into some really tough questions. Now remember, you are under oath in kangaroo court.
Oh yeah.
Now it's about to get real dangerous. Now, I need for you to raise not your right hand, but your left hand right quick. It's the opposite. Do you swear on the Donta Show Network to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Oh, I do.
Now what's about to be said is either going to support the claim that Mark was indulging in homosexuality, or is going to exonerate him of what you about to say next.
Okay.
So again, you are under oath. Was Mark a war daddy?
I don't know nothing about him being a war daddy. Because when they tell you war daddy, I heard him say on that what they were calling him. I ain't never knew they were calling him that. Because when you say you're
hold on. We following a very precise timeline here.
Right.
So did you know of Mark having sons under him, having homosexuals come to him for protection?
I never knew that.
Did Mark, because in prior videos, Mark admitted that there was guys that came to him, such as David and the guy Hips, and somebody else basically came to him for protection because the white guys, or maybe he wasn't at that prison where he was at, where this all took place at, that they came to him for protection. And that's why everybody's saying, like, so was he, because he admitted that, he was a war daddy. He admitted that these guys came to him for protection, but he said that he did not have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
So for the time that you knew him, That's why I said that you are under oath here. For the time that you knew him, did you see punks coming to Mark for protection?
I ain't see that.
Okay. So what was Mark day-to-day life of how he was living when you seen him? Did you see him interacting with any homosexuals?
No. I always saw him move around that camp in a way of a hustler, you know, gambling. They did what they call jeweler whiskey making, stuff like that. I saw him move that way, you
Hold
know.
on. We gonna give Mark a call right quick, so that way we can establish this timeline, because I don't want the audience to try to discredit you and say, yo, but Mark said he did do these things, but
Right.
maybe y'all was at the wrong, you wasn't at the right place.
Right.
Hold on, I gotta block this number out. Hold on. I think he probably on his way to work. He'll call me back if he don't
Yeah, I
answer.
called him earlier. I want to say this for the record too.
Okay.
When I myself, before I got to prison, okay, I was in the jail. You know, I was looking at like I say, capital murder. When I first got there, I was in there with guys who been to prison. Okay.
Okay.
And when we used the term war daddy, see, I never knew what that was until 1988, 19 years old.
Okay.
And I can remember a guy who was in there who was broke, didn't have nothing, black guy. And the guy told me he'll wash my drawers and socks. He just wanted coffee and cigarettes. And he asked me to be his war daddy. I didn't know what that was. That's somebody looking out for somebody, you know?
Yeah.
Even if somebody want to jump on him. And the dude washed my drawers and socks. I thought it wasn't nothing. I ain't look at it as nothing. I give him a pack of Bugle cigarettes, what at that time probably $1.50. Get, hey man, I need my sock wash. You know, stuff like that. So when I heard Mark say he was a war dad, it took me back almost 40 years, you know, when I remember stuff like that, you know. And I ain't know what level he talking about it on, because I know when we say war daddy, at the time that I got locked up, it meant somebody who taking care of somebody who was afraid in the prison system.
Well, yeah, that's what he said also.
Yeah,
See, the
afraid to
audience, the audience took that term as you being like a homosexual that
No.
got homosexuals under you, that you protecting them. So
Mm.
you and Cartoon cleared that up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the things is that they're going to say to you is that, okay, and let's just get this established. So to your knowledge, if Mark did any of these things in the 5 years that you have known him or been locked up with him, that
Mm-hmm.
somebody would have came to you and dropped a dime on him. Somebody would have told you something. Somebody would have said, hey, you know, Mark is over here messing with these boys.
Mm-hmm.
And you never heard anything like that.
Right.
You never heard that.
I never heard that. It could have been out here, like I heard him say on the documentary. If I got out and what I seen on now, and know he out, and he indulging in homosexuality, even out here, I go find him and whoop his men, whoever, go at him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I tell him that, cause he know law. I tell him that. You know, I ain't on here as if we just not started talking to each other. You know, we just got in touch with each other. Yo, it ain't like me and him been hanging around out here. We just got in touch with each other, not probably 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
So we ain't been hanging around out here together.
So you are vouching for Mark that he did not indulge in homosexuality.
Well, the way he had it on that, looking at that video and the stuff I was hearing him say, I'm glad to hear him say what he been saying, because I was under the impression all the stuff that he was talking about on there was real stuff. Cause you wouldn't have no choice but to take it that way, especially if you ain't never been locked up. And a person who been locked up should have eyes and ears to hear and see what's real and what ain't real. If you've been incarcerated before, you know what's real and what ain't real when you hear it. You know, so it either yay or nay. You know, and
So
I was telling him, I said, now that the guy Fleecy, see, his platform is he was a booty bandit.
yeah.
And in Alabama, we call them creeps. So
Okay.
yeah, we call them creeps. So my thing were two things I did in there. I was in the gang, Vice Lord, and I was in the Nation of Islam.
Hmm.
Okay. That was my circle. Now, please, and what they talking about on there, and gambling, homosexuality, that's a whole different group of people.
Hold on, here go Mark. Here go
Okay.
Mark. Hey Mark, hold on. We got your guy on here.
Huh?
We doing the video, and we got your guy on here. We got to ask you a couple questions right quick.
Well, hold on one sec. I'm at work. Oh, give me 1 sec. Hold on.
Okay, wait, call me when you're done. Hold on. So when he get back on, we'll talk about it. So again, for the record, for the top. So when you seen that video, when you first seen that video, and you said, "Hold up, that's Mark, and that's blah blah, blah, that's JG." Did you say to yourself, "Where the heck was I at? When did they have time to do this? And are you serious?"
Man, that was my first thinking. When this happened, really why they did it,
Yeah.
you know? And through looking and listening, I listened to the whole video, saw it. And I probably was like everybody else out here. But I was trying to figure out the time frame when it happened. 'Cause I kept looking at the background in the prison. And true enough, what he's saying is they flipping from one prison to the next.
Yeah.
Like that sergeant they were showing, like you said, that Sergeant Judge, he was over there at Eastern Prison. That's what me and Mark first met at. Okay. Now I don't know if Mark transferred over there and back to however, but I know Sergeant Judge was at Eastern Prison. That's a different prison from Limestone. Okay. Then you'll see Mark, he's sitting, him and JG look like they're at Limestone Prison. Limestone Prison is the only prison that I know of, you know, not the big prison. The big prison is West Jefferson, St. Clair, and Holman. That's where death row and life would die at. I'd never been there. But Limestone, the only prison I've been at, got shower curtains and a two-man door cell for you to sleep in privacy. Let's put it like that. Everywhere else you bug naked out in the open, base. Stand up at a toilet while women walking by, urinating, you know, that kind of stuff.
So ultimately, so okay, so after you seen it, when did you say to yourself, like, hold on, this can't be real because A, B, C, and D?
I didn't even judge it like that. I just looked at it and I saw what was said, and all in my mind was like, damn, man, why y'all made something like that? What I couldn't, it's like I just started talking to him about it. When me and him started talking probably 3 months ago, I didn't talk to him about it till this morning.
We because later we gonna get Mark on, and we gonna, you know, us three gonna be on here. Well, us gonna be on here with Mark. So because we're gonna have to ask Mark. I'm pretty sure you might have already asked him, but I don't want you to say it right here. Why did you do it? Because that's one of the biggest questions everybody keeps saying is like, if you are, they saying like, of all the homosexual men that was in that prison, why would they come to you? And even why would they come to a fake homosexual when they could have got a real one to do all these things?
Yeah.
But
I see the point. Yeah.
but we gonna have them questions for Mark tonight at 7. Well, 8. He should be home at 8, settled in. So we had them questions for him because, you know, he definitely got to get in that hot seat to answer that. Now, to be fair, he has said that he did it because they said they was going to talk to the parole board when it's time for him to go up for parole to do
Right.
these things. But then the lingering question is that, and then especially you being the chief of the vice lords, Mark could have run the risk of this getting back to you and other figureheads that he was up under or whatever. So my question is, why, as a straight man that never indulged, why would you do this?
Right. See, it go back to like I was telling you about the guy who was vice lord who we did violate.
Yeah.
It go back to that right there. This guy was in the organization and still did what he did. He come out of Chicago. He know law. And you know what some of them tried to justify it as? They tell you this. They say, man, if a brother got life with that, he could have a boy. I never agreed with none of that. Because I had a life in 10, still got it. I got a life in 10 years right now. I ain't free. I do parole every month.
Most of the audience never been to prison, and they're gonna say, how the heck you got life in 10 and you out here in the free world? Explain to them.
I got 110 years right now. I got paperback work back there. I can soon pull out. I got that right now.
No. When I say they not going to understand what you're saying, like, why are you home right now with 110 years?
I did my time. When I was 19 years old, I was charged with capital murder. Capital murder in Alabama is life without or death row. And I didn't get life with that because I'm him. And I didn't get death row. I ended up getting a life sentence in 10 years in the Alabama Department of Correction. I did 30 years on life. Like many guys right now back after 40 years on life. So I did 30 years and made parole in 2017. I'm him. I'm not free. In other words, I could go out and slap the crap out of somebody. I'd probably be right back up in there. Yeah, I'm on parole.
Let me ask you this. Because now we gonna do our own separate video just for who you are in your story. So
that's cool.
Because you got a very interesting story.
That's cool.
So y'all, well, I guess that's it. So do you believe that Mark? 2 questions. So, do you believe that Mark is innocent or guilty?
I believe he's an innocent man. It don't take much to say on that because I heard what Fleece had to say. He think Mark a homosexual girl. No, he ain't that. I know he ain't that.
Because if he was that, y'all would have dealt with him immediately.
For real. I dealt with him out here if I walked out here. I'm talking about right now. I'm 56 years old. For real. I'd have quickly come over where I'm and beat him up.
You got to stay free, man. And this is all for entertainment. It's entertainment purpose.
Yes, sir. I know.
Before he even got on here, he signed the non-disclosure form saying this is all entertainment and this is all in fun.
Right.
So with that, we're going to end it right there.
Okay.
Hey, did you know that I do promotions now? I promote all social media channels such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I promote it. Also, I promote products and businesses also. So if you need promo, get in contact with me. All right, y'all, it's the fall season. Make sure y'all cop y'all military mind game merchandise. I got hoodies for you. I got shirts for you. I even got coffee mugs for you. Y'all see that hat? Y'all see that pillow? Make sure y'all cop y'all military mind game merchandise. I have the link pinned at the top of the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click this video. Until next time.